cope with things to a high degree. And I think what somebody said is true. Somebody, YouTuber said, and even my mom agreed. My mom, but she does. People, I think I actually changed because of the negative stuff, but for the good. Cause I didn't, I grew up with playing cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, and I traded them. I made bad deals. And people were like, and they stopped that. Why? Because people were complaining that their kids were losing their favorite cards and they were whining, complaining. And then, my mom said, I really wish they didn't do that. They didn't ban it because, that was a really good teaching tool. And that's true. It really is a good teaching tool. It teaches them to be smart, to learn, to actually question things, and to actually just have the guts to say no. And just, cause even my mom doesn't learn that. And I know that I probably don't learn that, but I tend to learn. You tend to realize from my mom just how bad they are, because my mom's got money, and when you got money, the creeps start showing up. The losers, the pathetic crybabies, the people who nobody wants to deal with. With money, you have to deal with them on a daily basis. And you know what? It is just really hard to deal with negative, the people. And, well, even if you didn't have money, my mom was trying to get a mower because, the lawn was broke, and she doesn't have a lot of money to, afford, a really good one. And why should she? It will just get broken by the tenants, who really think that we're made out of money. Really don't think we're human beings and don't care. And probably don't think their children are human beings even. They're selfish. But, so my mom got scammed almost scammed. Luckily, she asked a couple of times, but people were saying, oh, the lawnmower was working perfectly. Because she had to go to a thrift shop. People were saying it was working perfectly. And she just asked, hey, why does it feel weird when I'm pulling the handle? And they're like, maybe because it's kind of broken. Then she's like, it's really mad. And then they try and pull it again, because then she goes to the next one. And they're like, it's working perfectly. They try the same thing again. And it wasn't working at all. Again, it was missing a motor. I think one was broken part and one was missing a motor entirely. But, getting scammed, and she finally got one from the same place, and it actually works perfectly. But, imagine if she didn't ask just two little questions. She actually asked the same question twice. At least they kind of said that was a scam before she bought it. It was not working. What if they lied and said it was working? How bad of human beings you have to be to... It's not even a $20 thing that they're trying to scam. It's and that's just daily life. Like my mom said, you know, most of the people are just evil. And you do gotta make friends and everything, but you gotta make sure you watch out. Because they'll just skin you alive for whatever you got. And so fortunately, it's true. And that's why better preparing your kid for a world that does not care too well to people who are innocent, who are actually just childs. They're not innocent. There's no such thing as innocent. Like, I was technically never innocent. I knew the world was dark and bleak, but I never really was bad about it. Like, it never really did anything affected me any negatively. Okay, I do not have the permission to go right there. Wow. It's weird. I never was really affected. In fact, I was okay. I was normal. I had fun. I had just fun like any normal kid. And nothing really changed once I knew the world was like evil. Nothing really is now. Like, I think people try and say innocent. What they really mean is jobless. Because it's like, it's innocent because, you know, when you're a child, you don't have to get a job. But that's really what it is. That's what it is. Because you know what? Because if you're not a child and you're jobless, that's a negative. People don't like their jobs, so I think that's why. That the innocent. But I think that I don't really think that that's... But I really hate how people use the word innocent. Like, that child is innocent because he's not learned about the world. He's not been able to grow, develop, and being able to live in this world. That's called innocent. I didn't change. I was not different from any other kid. From any other kid knowing that the world is evil. I knew that the world was evil, and I knew that I didn't care because, you know what, I had a good family. And you know what? I think that's what it is. It's like, you know, I don't really get the innocent thing. I get your childhood could be taken away because of, you know, negative, like, rape or anything like that, but that's rape. That's not watching a movie. But yet somehow people attribute, like, the loss of childhood, that's what they really mean to say, to watching a movie, playing a game. When you can only really say that if they're raped. Like, people lose their adulthood because they're raped. They lose the ability to make friends, even as adults. But I think, but there is a difference between playing video games, watching movies, than actually doing them, actually living in that. And I think that's what people don't seem to get, and that's really weird. I don't get that. I don't know. I think it's because with my mom, I was allowed to explore things. Like, different ideas and everything. Like, I wasn't, like, hammered with, like, stupid ideas. But I don't know. Okay. Wow, we're playing this game for 2 hours. Well, I'm also glad that I am, because you know what? I get to tell you all about it. But I think I think I've said all I wanted to say about that. But I think when people say that they've been affected by that, they really mean is, I've really grown up, but I just don't want to admit that it's just really growing up. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to... I just don't get those stupid people. Really don't. I don't even want... It's just really idiotic. I think they say that because they never really experienced it. And if you don't really experience it, then don't say it. And there's like not even evidence to prove their point. There's evidence to prove my point. Ugh. It just gets me so pissed when people say that video games are bad for kids, or like M-rated. It's like, I played it as a kid, sorry, but you're just dead wrong. I don't really think... I think there's a difference between teaching the kids about world and them living in it, which I don't think parents seem to get. And there's one person who really pissed me off. He was a YouTuber with a geek volume. Well, actually, they both pissed me off. They're talking about movies, and they're talking about how... And one of them was like talking about how he didn't want to scare his child. I think I'm getting pissed because... Why? What happens when you're an adult and you get scared? Nothing. What happens when you were a kid and you got scared? Nothing. And in fact, when you got scared, you kind of dealt with your problem. You dealt with your scaredy and you grew up because of it. So, I don't know. I just don't really... Ugh. And the other guy was like, oh, I talk to parents and say, don't get your kid that, because I have no real proof to prove it. And the only thing I could say is I'm working as a clerk at Best Buy. You should, or Future Shop, or wherever he works at. And you should really think that I am really smart when I work there. That I really know about how to get ahead in life. You're an idiot. I mean, he really is. Like, when movie directors who have made millions have said that they've experienced, special effects artists have said that they've, and you're saying that that's bad? He was talking about video games, but also movies, I bet he did. I think you need to re-look your experience. And I think you really need to re-look at your views and things. I really just think, why are you having that view? And is that just stupid? But yeah, that's why I stopped watching Geek Volume. It's just not very smart people talking about shit. Don't really want to... I don't know. It's just kind of stupid. Because, you know, if you're gonna talk about something, it's not, you don't have to have a, like, general, like, thing about, you know, everything. But if you're gonna make a dedicated video, and that's what they did, about the subject, you better put up facts. And what they did is not. In fact, they had no facts. And they called it a great video, and people were like, people actually agreed with them. It's like, why? It's like, why would you agree with them? Why would you think that 2 + 2 = 8? I mean, they didn't even put up any points to their defense. They had an opinion that was not really an opinion based on facts, or even any logic, or even anything. It's just kind of like saying, well, I think trees grow from rocks. uh, you would tell them they're an idiot and that's wrong, but yet somehow people don't tell. Well, actually, people did, and for good reason. And they didn't even respond. Oh, they responded to a great video, guys. Yay, but not responded to the fact that people are just pissed because you put up a video that didn't make any sense at all, had no real actual facts, and they're not exactly new to making videos. They have made videos a long time coming, and they probably made for over a year. Yet somehow they're so stupid as they can't put facts into a video. They can't look it up. They can't look at studies. You know what's even stupider? Is that is that I can bet is that they probably read comic books as a kid. Yet they don't seem to get that as a kid comic books were talked about as negatively. Yeah. And you know, it's kind of like we're kind of talked about negatively, and there would be people talking about negatively like they were now talking about video games and movies with no facts, based on them just talking. People actually believed it and actually said, but they never really it's a 30-minute video of them saying, I think movies are bad. Oh, and they said they're like, oh, we're not for censorship. We're just saying that I would not let my kid to watch a video, which is censorship. Definition, idiots. Oh my god, like really? It's that bad of how stupid they are. They don't, like, the definition of censorship, blocking people from viewing stuff because you think it's bad for them. Yet they seem to think that censorship means something. And do you know why they said that? Because people actually think negatively of censorship. And they should. They just don't seem to get that also implies video games. And censorship is negative. And you know, somebody said censorship is good, and then they said in the war where women are raped, and yet it's treated as though it's nothing. Yeah. And censorship is really different from just blocking people from seeing stuff like secret information. Like, censorship is like blocking them because they think that it will have a negative impact on their lives. Blocking people from like seeing documents that it could ruin, expose something or endanger people's lives is not censorship. The definition is because they think it's bad for the person who's reading it, not for the people, not for other people. Not for themselves. That's not censorship. The censorship is blocking them from people from saying, like, saying that fuck is a bad word without any real reason. But it's not like blocking them from seeing documents that can go into the wrong hands, put people's lives in danger because of that. That's called blocking the information from leaking. There's a big difference. But also, and I also know that I kind of explained it that way also, like I kind of said censorship is like blocking, but that was more to explain how stupid that point was. But I don't think the definition is like that, but anyway. I know the definition is kind of different. But with the most... But I gotta go, sorry.